Hey guys, it's me KSMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kiyoko Shimizu X listener. This one is titled Ribbons, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. You never really knew how lonely a one-sided love truly could be as you stared at your crush sitting at the same bench as you, her luscious black hair cascading down her porcelain face, framing it delicately, her tiny mole that laid rest to the lower left part of her chin, and it just made you want to caress it so badly. And not to mention her eyes, her gorgeous steel gray eyes that held yours. Held yours? Snapping out of your daydream, you come to find that Kiyoko Shimizu was talking to you. Oh, my apologies, Shimizu, you blurted out. I was, spacing out. You tended to do that a lot. Space out. Especially during Kurasuna's volleyball matches. Games were even worse. You'd be sitting up in the crowd with Yachi and your eyes would barely ever leave Kyoko's figure, and no one would think anything of it as they weren't being bothered to pay attention to where your focus was held. You started to manage the volleyball team a little after your third year had started. Your guidance counselor mentioned that it would be good for your resume to have some sort of extracurricular activity attached to it, and the best one that he could offer was helping Kiyoko manage the volleyball team. So, the first time you laid your eyes on her, your heart dropped and you were rendered frozen in place until two boys came rushing past you and flew in front of her. You didn't know who she was. You had never even seen her before. But that was fair considering you were in class 3-6 and she was in class 3-2. You had never passed each other. Plus, you never really took any time to go into any of the volleyball games or anything. It's alright. Her angelic voice brought your thoughts back down to earth as it flew like doves on a beautiful sunny day through your ears. But please, like I said before, just call me Shimizu, or just call me Kiyoko. Kiyoko. You test her name on your tongue as you had before, but it still gave you the same butterflies all throughout your stomach. Oh, what were you saying? Just that practice. Kiyoko, my beautiful vixen. Oh, how your presence lights up the world on a dark, gloomy day. The two love-struck boys pranced into the gym, falling to their knees in front of her. You frowned to yourself as you thought, why can't I show my love to her like they can so openly? She gazed down at them for a split second before going back to her clipboard. Go to practice. She's so cold, it makes me feel dirty things. Tanaka shivered, and Noya did the same thing as they swooned over there. Your crush. Giving a sigh, you turned your back on them as well and sat down on the bench. Come to think of it, she never did get to tell you what she was talking about before. Should you go back and ask her about it again? Sure, she wouldn't reject you like she does the boys, but if she knew how you felt, would she do the same thing to you as well? You decided to forget about it and just get the water bottles ready for their break and keep a little distance between Kiyoko and yourself. That's how it tended to be. As much as you wanted to be around her, it hurt. Your heart always felt as if it were being squeezed into beats. Your blood would run cold when she handed you something and your fingers would touch. It was painful having these feelings that weren't reciprocated. It also didn't help that she was close to you every day, and Tanaka and Noya would often jump and flounce around her, gushing and making you very jealous that they could openly describe their attractions towards her. But you had a few more months until volleyball was over and then you'd graduate. Then you could tell her how you felt. You were determined to tell her, and it would be better to say that before... You were determined to tell her, and when better to say it than before you would never see her again. So you dealt with it, admiring her from afar, soaking in her grace and shrining with the forlorn sighs and groans. However, the day they beat Torzawa, she hugged you and you thought that you were going to melt, and you had silly thoughts like Tanaka and Noya did. You didn't want to live anymore since she hugged you. It was all you needed in order to live your life. But that was just a line. If anything, it made you yearn for her touch even more. It made you want graduation day to come so much sooner, but at the same time, you dreaded that day since it would be the last time that you would see her. But today was the day. You stood in with your graduating classmates, your diploma in your hands as everyone's names were being called. People were hugging their family members and friends, reminiscing about some of the events that happened throughout the year, and you were standing in place, frozen in fear from the confession that you were preparing. You felt a slap on your back that knocked you out of your stupor. Huh? Hey, congratulations. You turned to see Tanaka giving you a grin and patting your back. Have you seen Kiyoko? I want to congratulate her as well. Oh, I think she's over with Daichi, Asahi, and Suga. You shrugged, keeping your disappointment to yourself. If he's around, how are you gonna confess? Well, why don't you go over there then? Let's go see them. You aren't gonna see them much either. Come on. Tanaka roared loudly as he dragged you over to your now former classmates. Captain! Tanaka yelled as he went to congratulate all of them while you stood a bit off to his side, taking side glances at a certain black-haired female. You know what? Fuck it. Kiyoko, you stuttered out, grabbing the attention of your friends and a few that were standing around you. You wanted to slap yourself, but thankfully, the eyes of the onlookers went back to their family and friends. However, your friends' eyes stayed furrowed on you. Come on. You looked into her steel eyes for a small glimpse of yourself showing in her glasses. What's wrong? She took a step towards you. I just wanted to tell you that, your eyes left hers and wandered over to your friends before finding a place on the ground, gazing at a small weed popping up between the concrete creeks, your voice ultimately more quiet. You're really beautiful, and I really like you a lot. I just wanted to let you know before we, don't see each other anymore. Whoa, what? Tanaka was the first to speak up, and he was the first to speak up, and he did so rather quick after your confession, his eyes wide open as the moon. She herself was taken aback, and you felt your heart drop and shudder. Well, it was nice managing with you, he mumbled, and looked up at the boys briefly. And managing for you. That's when you turned around and tried to maneuver your way through the ground. Fuck the ground? Through the crowd. As fast as you could without running. Now, you knew that Kiyoko was a track star. You knew full and well that Kiyoko was a track runner, yes, but you had no idea that she would use that skill to chase you. One moment you had slipped into the school, heading to the girls' room. The next, a hand was on your shoulder that stopped you in your tracks. Your heart was already beating faster than normal, but when your eyes landed on a certain pink-cheeked, black-haired third year, your heart sped up even more. Kiyoko? Your eyes ran over her face that was tinted pink, a mouth that was slightly hung open, as she easily caught back her breath. Why did you run away? Her face was light, her eyes delicately holding emotion that you were unfamiliar with. You laughed out awkwardly. I didn't want to embarrass myself any further, so I thought I'd just splash my face with some water. Oh my gosh, this was so awkward. You were screaming internally, but then Kiyoko moved all of her attention onto the small details. That she was currently doing. She had her fingers touching the bow that was tied around her neck, grasping it at the tips of the red material and pulling it, untying the knot. It slipped around her neck and fully into her hand. She moved her fingers a bit at the ribbon and hugged lightly around her fingers. Here. She held out her hand, her sharp, penetrating steel gaze into yours. May I ask if I could, in return, have your ribbon as well? She melodious, I don't know how you pronounce that. Her beautiful, silky voice spewed into your ears, and it left you speechless. What was she asking? Or more so, why was she asking for your ribbon? Your mind raced as you thought, letting your thoughts go down every single twist and turn that you could think of until it all landed onto one reason. She wanted to exchange ribbon because she liked you as well. It made the most sense. Guys would often give their ribbons, or the second ribbons of their blazer, when they confessed to guys. Wait, what? Guys would often give girls their second ribbon of their blazer when the girl confessed, or if they were already dating. So they get it by default. So the equivalent of a female and female must be a ribbon. You swallowed hard and reached for your bow, untying it in the way that she did and held it in your hands, feeling the material slip around your fingers. You looked down at it, blinking your eyes as your mind repeated, "She must like me, she must like me." Not wanting to get ahead of yourself, you allowed the question to arise. Why do you want my ribbon? And that's when she did something that killed you. She smiled. Her eyes crinkled and her lips spread, rising her rosy cheeks. She bared her teeth in an extremely rare smile that made you almost drop your ribbon. Because we're exchanging feelings. Oh my god, stop it, oh my god. Your knees began to feel weak, especially since she'd stepped closer to you and leaned in, her breath tickling your cheek as she delicately placed her lips onto your flesh. Her fingers danced over the palm of your hand, and her nails grazed ever so slightly as she picked up your ribbon. She laid it across her shoulder and then proceeded to extend her ribbon, lifting it up as she brought it behind your head, laying it down and picking up your collar, wrapping it around your neck and beginning to tie it. Folding your collar back down, she took a step back and smiled. "Tie mine for me?" Thinking, you faintly nodded your head and brought your hands up, pulling the tie off of her shoulder and then proceeding to do what she had done for you. "Thank you." Yeah, of course. Your words were lost as you looked at your high school crush. Could it be that you were dreaming? If you were, damn, this was an elaborate dream. "Do you still need to splash your face, or can we go back to the boys?" She questioned, her eyes scanning over your face, which made your cheeks begin to turn redder. We could go out, yeah." You nodded, but then your eyes widened. We can go out with the boys. Not unless you wanted to... What? Not out unless you wanted to, and we're already alright with that now. And you can... Yes, I'd like to go out with you, of course. She laughed softly as her fingers grabbed onto yours, intertwining them together. "Let's go meet up with the boys outside again." She softly tugged your hand as you fell beside her and walked shyly with the boys, hand in hand with none other than your now girlfriend, Kiyoko. Oh my god, that was so cute. Oh my god, imagine getting a girl like Kiyoko Shimizu. One of the finest motherfuckers you ever seen. Wow, I wish. That would be a dream come true, honestly. That was adorable. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. That's really important because my notification time schedule thing isn't very even, and I also do have school tomorrow. I'm going back to real school now. Well, not like real school, but I am going back to school since my winter break is over now, so I don't think I'll be able to post as much as I do now, and if I do, it's going to be later because schoolwork. And yeah, make sure you put the notifications on. Those are really important. And also tap the like button if you did like the video because it helps the YouTube algorithm. And comment down below some other characters you want me to do, and I'll try my best to do them for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.